Beard.
From the Fans Talk Podcast family at fanstalkpodcast.com, this is episode 268 of Fans Talk Pro Wrestling. And tonight, we preview WWE Elimination Chamber. With us tonight is Joe. Say hello, Joe.
Hello, Joe.
And Nick. Say hello, Nick.
Hi.
Thank you for downloading or streaming the show. Patreon.com/Fans Talk. That's where you guys can go to show us your support. Just pledge a few dollars our way every single month. Again, it's the most direct way you can tell us that you appreciate the conversation that we have here each and every week. Also tonight, we're going to be talking about a bit about NXT Takeover, Unstoppable. Did it live up to our expectations? And can TNA make it through yet another report that their future is in question? So let's start off with some WWE, and we're going to start off with Elimination Chamber. Here's the card that we have right now. We've got Bo Dallas versus Adrian Neville, John Cena versus Kevin Owens, Nikki versus Paige versus Naomi for the Divas Championship. The Tag Team Championships are on the line as New Day defends the titles in a chamber match against Cesaro and Kid, Lucha Dragons, PTP, Ascension, and Los Matadores. We've got another chamber match for the Intercontinental Championship. Currently, right now, what we have is Sheamus versus Ryback versus Rusev versus R-Truth, Ziggler, and Barrett. And in the main event, Seth Rollins defends the WWE Championship against Dean Ambrose. Out of those matches, what are you guys most looking forward to? You could say it's Bo Dallas versus Neville.
I was thinking about that. No, it's John Cena versus Kevin Owens with the Tag Team Championship as my follow-up. The Cena-Owens story, to me, just because it's hitting on multiple levels with the NXT side and the main roster, I'm really excited about it. I like that I can get bits of it, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with that. Cena versus Owens is going to be amazing, which I think this is the first time I could really say that about a Cena feud in the last while. And that's almost entirely because of Owens, just how much they're mixing it up with him, because Cena hasn't gotten anything in edgewise. And that's nice to see for a change. As far as backup matches go, yeah, I think I'm going to have to agree with you again, Joe, for the tag team titles, because I'm looking forward to seeing what the Lucha Dragons will be able to do inside that chamber, to see if they'll be able to innovate any sort of offense involving the cage.
So I'm looking at this card, and, live chat is saying it's the same thing. There really isn't a bad match on the card at all. This is probably one of the better cards that we've had this year, as far as like a special event goes. Yeah,
it's definitely going to outshine Payback.
Definitely.
Diva Jill is pointing out that that they're probably going to add another match during SmackDown. But again, I'm looking at this, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 matches right now. Both chamber matches should go close to 45 minutes, I would think. I remember we talked about this last week as far as how long chamber matches usually go, and they were right around that 45 minutes to an hour mark. So I really see all of these going the distance. Because of that, I can't really see them adding another match. Can you guys?
Stardust versus Stephen Amell, obviously.
I don't know. A number one contendership for the U.S. title? Zack Ryder versus Sami Zayn? I don't know.
Zayn is gone. He's most likely undergoing surgery as we speak.
Well, I mean, Hideo Itami just had surgery. He should be good to go, according to the WWE roster. I think that could work.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who's left over.
I really can't see them adding. I mean, they've got a bunch of filler low card guys, like you said, Zack Ryder, but Adam Rose is also there. But I can't see them adding another one. I don't think they need it.
It could be Adam Rose versus Fandango. They do have heat.
Yeah, you can add. I mean, yes, you could add a filler match, but as far as like story goes, I don't really think there's any other stories out there.
Blue brings up the fact that Reigns is not on the card.
Reigns isn't on the card. Big Show's not on the card. Kane's not on the card.
Okay,
Kane
out
will
of all
absolutely
those,
be there.
Reigns and Kane make the most sense. Big Show. Wait, did he cry and switch sides again?
No. I don't think you need Reigns on the card, though. I mean, again, this is a special event that's just network exclusive. It's not a big pay-per-view, so, if they don't have Reigns on the card, I don't think that's that big of a deal.
Yeah, I'm expecting them to reserve him for backup for Ambrose anyway.
True that. So, all right, let's go match by match. We'll start off, though. Miz TV returns. This is the first time Miz has been on TV since he defeated Damian Sandow for the rights to his name. And he's going to have Daniel Bryan in the ring with him on the show. First time Daniel Bryan's been on WWE TV since he dropped the title. So overall, what's your thoughts about this? Do you think they push the injury side of it, or do you think that they kind of sweep that under the rug for a little bit longer and just focus in on what else Bryan is doing, like Tough Enough and anything else? I don't know what else he's doing. But.
Well, I mean, it's definitely going to help hype Tough Enough because he's going to be involved with that.
Yeah.
Outside of that, they must think that he's actually going to be able to do something in the next 6 to 8 months, or else I don't think they'd be doing this because, I mean, unless it's purely Tough Enough hype. And at that point, couldn't you bring Lita in to do it? Reacquaint her with the audience? Because everybody knows Daniel Bryan. But
yeah, but then Miz TV would go on way too long.
Well,
that's true.
Okay, you've got a point there. But I just think that if they're going to be having there, because it's going to come up about the injury, and it's going to have Miz there, somebody's going to get punched. It's probably going to be Miz. At that point, it's action by Daniel Bryan. Why are you going to cock tease us like that? Let the guy rest. Don't put him on TV. Let us move on from him, so that way when we do get him again, God willing, that it's even bigger. Don't keep it just dangling it like a carrot, or us riding our pigs. That's a Minecraft reference, you heathens.
I'm wondering if Summer Rae will be there as well, given that she's been pretty close with Miz since the whole Sandow breakup. And if Summer Rae's there, maybe Paige would come out too and do the punching for Daniel Bryan. I don't know. I kind of doubt they would really want Daniel Bryan to have a physical altercation that hints at an upcoming feud.
Yeah, no, they can't.
So, yeah, if Summer's there, that gives there an excuse for Paige to be there as well as a fellow Tough Enough expert. And then, yeah, I could totally see Paige laying Miz out too. So,
looking at the live chat, Jill says, when is Lanny Poffo going to fight Sandow for the rights of the Macho Man's gimmick? My question, though, is wouldn't they first fight over the Genius gimmick? Because that's pretty much what Sandow was.
Yeah.
He's all over the Poffos, man.
That's true.
If they're gonna do an angle like that, as far as I'm ignoring Diva Jill's statement. But if they're gonna do an angle like that where Miz, kind of gets in Bryan's face, and you have Brie come out, then I can see Paige getting involved just to, build up the Divas match later on in the show. But that's the only way I would see that moving forward.
But that would have Paige lining with Miz.
Well,
really?
No, that's a good point. But you don't necessarily have to have Paige there. You could have Tamina.
That's true.
I guess, but I don't know.
What don't you know, Nick?
I just don't know why Tamina would be out there if Brie was out there. Yeah, I get the Bella versus what family are they? Not Snuka, Fatu. Yeah, the Bella versus Fatu deal, but Tamina would be going after Nikki, I would think, since she's actually in the match.
Well, unless it's to get Nikki to come out, and then it turns into a Nikki, Tamina, Naomi, Brie, Paige brawl. I'm just saying, like, if you're going to do something like that, at least use it to build up the Divas match later on in the evening.
Yeah, I just think that restricting it to Tough Enough is more likely. Granted, it would mean having Summer out there, which, I mean, aside from being attached to them, is kind of...
I mean, at least Miz is relevant to Tough Enough since that's how he got his WWE start.
True.
I mean, that's if you're looking for a grace in that.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the first match. We've got Bo Dallas versus Neville. Joe, who you got?
I've got Neville. I don't see with the way Neville's been booked and the fact that he has already previously one-upped Dallas. I don't think that Dallas is going to win. I don't think they're going to rehash all that. I mean, they'll lightly do it just because that's the match and there's history there, but I don't think this is going to be a long-term thing. And I pray to God they're not doing what the rumors say they're going to do and have Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas team up. And did anybody else catch those rumors?
I've been hearing them periodically, but I always thought of them more as just wishful thinking.
Yeah. I mean, those rumors have been going on for a long time.
Okay. Because I've just been hearing them a lot recently, like because Dallas has everything to do, and they don't know what they're doing with Bray, so we're gonna stick them together. No, don't want to see
it came back to light because one of the copy paste sites reposted it, months and months and months later, and I want to say it was being talked about on PW Pop the last 2 days in their Facebook group.
Gotcha. That may be where I initially caught it.
Yeah, I don't see that being any closer to being reality. I mean, we had similar hopes with Cody and Goldust, and it took them 2 years to finally do something with it.
True.
So
yeah, I don't expect this to go long term either, which is why I'm predicting Neville will win. Just with the way that they've been handling NXT stories transitioning up to the main roster. Like, they've been acknowledging what goes on before, and they're having the stars of NXT come up and have their past accomplishments named. Kevin Owens is the current NXT champion. He's coming up. I think that they're going to be incorporating that history that Neville and Bo have without rehashing it or repeating it. So I think this is just going to be Neville repeating history for a brief moment and then moving on.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, first of all, I do have to say I'm very happy that they are finally putting Bo Dallas in a program. I mean, he's been up on the main roster for over a year now. I mean, he was out on injury for a while, but for the most part, since he's been brought up, he hasn't had like an actual feud yet. It's been like 1 week with one guy, a couple weeks with someone else, but this is the first time that he's had like an actual pay-per-view match that means something. So I'm very happy with this. To suggest that they won't repeat history as far as their push of Neville versus Bo, I don't see why not. I don't see why you don't push these two and see what they can do. Let two NXT guys basically run a program on the main roster to see if it gains any traction. I think that's something that they should experiment with, just because they work so well together on the NXT level.
Yeah, but Neville could do better.
Can he? Bo Dallas is your longest reigning NXT champion.
Neville's the longest reigning NXT champion.
I thought Bo Dallas was.
No, Neville took the title and then broke the record with it.
Okay.
And Neville is the most decorated NXT talent thus far.
All right. But still, I mean, he was at one point the longest reigning NXT champion.
I still don't know why.
So, I don't know. For me, though, I'm going to go with Bo Dallas. I'm going to start off going against you guys on picks, but I really think that they could go the distance with this as far as like take this to an actual pay-per-view to close it off, or let these guys go back and forth for at least a month. I think they can go at least a month with these two, because they're not doing really anything with Neville at this point. They're obviously not doing anything with Bo Dallas, but they can and they should. So I'm going to go with Bo Dallas with the win.
I don't know where you're getting this statement. They haven't been doing anything with Neville.
Well, I mean, he's not like in a title race. He did enter in the U.S. Open Championship thing, but
yeah, and
so has Zack Ryder. Well, is he has he been in an actual feud that's lasted longer than a couple weeks?
Yeah, with Barrett.
How many matches have they had? Like 3 matches? That's a feud
on Raw.
I don't know. I'm just saying at this
it's
point.
Not like they were strangers before the King of the Ring tourney either.
Sure, but at this point, I'm saying you could do something like this with Neville and not negatively affect either of these two guys. People are still going to be behind Neville. People are still going to be against Bo Dallas.
Yeah, Neville's certainly not hurting from momentum.
Yeah. So, okay. Let's move on from that. John Cena versus Kevin Owens. This is not a title match. It's just a straight-up fight. What do you guys think? Does Kevin Owens win?
Yes. Dear God, I hope so, because it will do nothing but build Owens as the monster that he should be. I mean, he's already one-upped Cena twice. Now, if he's the only one getting the win or getting the upper hand, leading with the pay-per-view, the curse of Cena will probably enact, and Owens could lose. But if Cena's not if it's not for a title, I could see Cena taking the loss on this one, even if it's by countout or by referee. I mean, maybe Cena wins by referee
stoppage.
Yeah, referee stoppage, because Owens just will not relent.
Yeah, that's what they did with the past two Zayn fights, so I could definitely see it. Personally, I'm expecting I was going to say an actual win, but that would be an actual win. I was going to say I'm expecting something a little more definitive. Maybe not a clean win, but I don't know. I'm definitely predicting Owens is going to be the one to walk away from this. Because like you said, Joe, who gets the most out of a win here? Owens, obviously. And I won't say he'll be seriously hurt by the loss, but if Owens loses, that's going to kill some excitement for Owens.
The
Not
only way
if he wins by DQ. If he wins by, I'm sorry, if Owens loses by DQ, just by ignoring the ref and just destroying Cena, that would be fine for Owens. He doesn't have to win this to get over. Yeah,
that is true. I was just saying, in a scenario where Cena wins, like by perception, Owens obviously loses a lot of face. But apart from that consideration, the Authority has been talking up Owens a lot. And I don't know why they would unless they saw some way for him to come out on top here. Maybe that's not necessarily with a win, but maybe just with a moral victory.
Right.
So, yeah, Owens is going to come out on top here, and I'm guessing it's going to be a win.
See, I think Owens can only suffer a loss here if Zayn or somebody from NXT, who would be a number one contender at this point.
Yeah, Balor.
If Balor interferes. It's got to be by interference that allows Cena to get over on him. Other than that, I think it does hurt. It hurts Owens.
God, what a way to debut that would be. Owens is stomping a mud hole in Cena, and all of a sudden Balor's music hits. He comes out in full getup, and then Cena gets the win.
Or not even that. What about Joe?
Oh, man.
That'd be awesome, but that would be kind of fast.
I wouldn't put Joe up there. I mean, possible to have.
I'm not saying Joe Cena. I'm saying Samoa Joe
just
Owens.
Coming out.
Yeah,
I mean, because he already did it once.
Yeah. I could see that as a possibility. I don't see Balor in your scenario, Nick, coming out in full get up to just set up Owens. Basically, I think that would be a complete waste of his debut, is to just show up like Boogeyman style on the main show and then go away.
It's Irish Boogeyman.
I mean, that would be the only way Balor would come out, I think, because if he just comes out, sans makeup and everything, nobody would get why Owens would be so disoriented that it costs him the match. I think if that was the case, I think Balor would have to be in full demon getup.
I don't
know, but all I'm saying is I would like to see Kane in the ring at some point, being the monster, and then Balor comes through the ring and grabs him and pulls him to hell in full getup.
That would be awesome.
Why aren't we booking for WWE?
I don't know.
I know, right?
All right, so I'm going to go... Okay, so you two are going with Kevin Owens to win. I believe the live chat is pretty much into Owens picking up the win. I'm going to go with John Cena picking up the win, but via DQ, because I think Owens just destroys him. But, ref stoppage kind of thing. Okay, cool. Nikki versus Paige versus Naomi for the Divas Championship. This is Naomi's time, right, guys?
I think so.
Better be.
Yeah, I mean, she's simply far too talented to not ever get a run. And, yeah, with Tamina as backup, with Paige possibly... if Brie becomes a factor, I imagine Paige will be able to neutralize that. And, yeah, I think the stars are aligning to where Naomi could finally get that title run.
Yeah, I'm looking at this, and Naomi by far is the best choice here. I mean, Paige quality wrestler. Definitely is coming back in a big way, in a good way. But I want to see what Naomi can do as a heel, as your top diva. So yeah, let's go ahead, see what Naomi can do, and go from there. Again, this is it's just a special event. It's not a big pay-per-view, so if it doesn't work out, we can easily change it next pay-per-view. But I don't know. I think this is a great move.
Yeah, and I think it's a more interesting title scene where you've got Nikki and Paige, both two-time Divas champions, both jockeying for the number one contendership. I think that's more interesting than if it was one of them as champ and Naomi in there, because that would just be status quo for Naomi.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Next up, we've got the chamber match for the tag team championships. Again, it's New Day defending. We've got Cesaro and Kid, Lucha Dragons, the Primetime Players, the Ascension, and Los Matadores. Who's got the best chance to win this match?
Well, I'm going to go with the New Day because I don't think they're done with their run. I don't think Cesaro and Kid are going to topple them right now. I don't think the Lucha Dragons are ready for the strap yet on the main roster. I'm looking for a big showing from PTP. The Ascension, cool. And Los Matadores, I think they're more or less filler. I'd almost like to see them get taken out before the match. And then since Atami's had the surgery and he's ready, he's going to team up with Scott Steiner, and they're going to be the Frankensteiners due to the stitching of Atami's shoulder.
It is grotesque.
It looks like Dr. Frankenstein got to work on that, isn't it? Because really, Los Matadores, I think they're going to go quick. I think the most hilarious thing is they keep trying to push the idea that New Day is going to be stuck in a pod together, and I think they're starting the match.
Well, they did say not all three of them would actually be in there, but Big E's absolutely going to be in there, which is still going to be a tight fit for, I'm guessing, Kofi.
Yeah, I've got to assume it's going to be Big E and Kofi, but it's definitely going to be interesting. It's going to be him and Cesaro as the two powerhouses.
If Big Show can fit, if Big Show can fit in one of those pods, then Big E and Kofi should be fine. Snug.
They should spoon and have Big E eating in the pod.
There's going to be a lot of mopping of the brow. I'm predicting New Day as well. I don't think they're done either, which makes my prediction for what happens next a little interesting, because I think I don't know what they're going to be calling them going forward, but Harper and Rowan, I think they're only being left out of this match because they're going to be next up to go after the title. And I don't know if that would necessarily turn them face or just tweener, because, yeah, they've only faced tag teams before now, but I don't know. People seem to be behind them.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with New Day as far as my pick goes. I definitely am enjoying everything they're doing. I find myself getting behind them as well, but definitely because I know that they're heels and they're playing heels well. Overall, New Day, I think, out of all these teams, are the most over for me. I like Cesaro and Kid, but they aren't as good as New Day.
New Day!
Yeah, and Joe, you're absolutely right. It's too early for the Lucha Dragons to win the gold right now.
Yeah.
I think they'd be better served if some other team was holding the belts.
Yeah. All right, so New Day retain. That's our pick. The next chamber match, we've got the Intercontinental Championship on the line. This was up after Daniel Bryan relinquished it, so it's up for grabs. Sheamus versus Ryback versus Rusev versus R-Truth versus Ziggler and versus King Barrett. Who you got, Joe?
Well, I've looked at this is actually going to be. I think this is going to be a very fun match to watch. I'm going with Rusev only because he needs something. He needs to be a force, and he does better with the title defending it than I think he would chasing it at this point. And I'd really like to see him bring back the European Championship, like make that a thing, so that maybe Swagger can eventually come back. And I'm kidding. I would really like Swagger to do something like come back, and then if Rusev makes the title the the European Championship, then he can change it back because, America, Eagle Screech. But yeah, Rusev needs something here. Ryback he can fight with anybody. He doesn't need the title. Ziggler, I don't think is going to do anything. I mean, he's going to be great in the match, but why does he need the title? He doesn't. Barrett, obviously, he's had it 3 times already. He doesn't need it. Obviously, him with the title.
King. He doesn't need.
Right. He doesn't need these paltry titles, but he's still going to be in there. Sheamus actually could benefit from this, just to build the heat, give him more reasons to look stupid. That'd be the closest thing. But no, I think Rusev's going to benefit the most. So Rusev wins.
I'm predicting Sheamus. I'm not exactly sure why. It just seems like everybody else has something going on already, barring R-Truth. But yeah, I don't give him a real solid chance to win this match anyway. Ziggler and Rusev are obviously embroiled in a feud over Lana. Barrett, yeah, he's a king. He doesn't need these petty baubles. He's just beating people up for sport. Why do you think the English have fox hunting? Ryback, yeah, like you said, Joe, he doesn't need the title. Sheamus, I don't necessarily know that he needs it, but yeah, it seems like a logical move for me. And I don't know who'd be best set up for a title chase afterward, but yeah, as far as more ways of looking stupid, I'm guessing he'll have the belt lengthened so he can have it as kind of like a bandolier thing going across his chest. Kind of like X Division guys do with their titles.
I tried to do my best Wookiee impression.
It wasn't very good.
No.
I never said it was good.
He's far too white to be a Wookiee.
No, but he's got the belt. if you think he's going to extend it, he can wear like the Chewbacca belt.
Non-8 foot tall walking carpets can have bandoliers too.
Cool.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with Rusev as well. I think Rusev definitely is primed for this. This is a great evolution for him as a wrestler, him as a character. So I think this would be a perfect opportunity to give him the title and see where he goes from here. He did an excellent job with the U.S. Championship. So I think this is a good time to do it. Looking at the live chat, we've got some votes for Sheamus. We've got some votes for Barrett as well, and Ryback. And I do love the Ryback vote. I would love to see Ryback win. This week he did defeat Barrett in a short match, but is definitely playing up the hurt ribs angle. So because of that, that's why I'm not willing to put my full back in behind him. With Rusev's only major issue is with Ziggler, and yeah, that could cause a distraction roll up. That can cause something. It still, I don't see it being that big of a problem. Just because of how fast he worked through R-Truth, just because of how fast he went after Ziggler this week. I think he'll be fine. So, yeah. Why is R-Truth in this match?
He's been in the IC title race for a while now.
But why is he here?
Because one time he threw water on John Cena.
Okay.
I am concerned about this match because at least half the participants have long and storied histories of injuries resulting from these kinds of matches. I'm fully expecting Ziggler to break something during this match.
Wasn't it Botch Spot who put up James put up that comment or comic where he's got Daniel Bryan saying, injuries are, plague my career, so I have to relinquish the title and heel. But it's it's up for grabs in one of the most brutal matches of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sheamus gets hurt with these sorts of things, and
Barrett's been hurt.
Ryback, I've heard that rib injury isn't all kayfabe.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be not fun. Well, it depends on what you get off on, I guess. But yeah, somebody's getting jacked up.
Okay. All right, so Nick, you're going with Sheamus. Joe, you're going with Rusev. I'm going to go with Rusev.
Correct.
All right. In your main event for WWE Elimination Chamber, we've got Seth Rollins defending the WWE Championship against Dean Ambrose. What do you got, Joe?
I don't think it's Dean Ambrose's time. I don't think they've built the story well enough for a title change between these two guys right now. I know that Rollins put Ambrose out, and that's the big factor. That's the big revenge kind of thing. But I don't feel they've built it. It just happens to be a factoid. And I know as a wrestling fan who's been watching The Shield and watching Seth Rollins and Ambrose and Reigns, and I know the story, but I don't think they're conveying it enough to make me think that something big is going to happen here. It's mostly filler to me.
Yeah, in order for Ambrose to get a serious shot at the title, I think, and win it, I think they need to get away from all the hokey, the gimmicky stuff. Like coming in with the police van and walking down with a nightstick, or that awful segment where he brought out the mannequin to show us exactly how he was going to take Seth Rollins apart. And all that stuff he does in the ring, running to the corner, bouncing off the turnbuckle and running back, the whole rebound off the ropes thing, the swivel into the ring and back out when he's outside, that's not championship stuff, I don't think.
Well, it's very 80s, early 90s wrestling.
Yeah, but he doesn't do it all that well. Apart from the rebound clothesline, that works, I think, except I wish he'd stop doing it in every single match he does. But all that other stuff, it doesn't come off well. And I don't think he likes it. I think that I'm pretty sure I've heard him talk about some of the stuff he's done, and it's like, yeah, they told me to do that. I don't know about that, but they told me to do it, so I do it. And I think that shows through because it doesn't look great.
So yeah, to me, it seems like they're almost going like the kid route with Ambrose. Like they want him to be this comedic caricature of a person, but I don't. Yeah, like you're saying, it just doesn't come off right. Like even if you talk to my nephew who is 9, he's not into the character. He just sees the character as this crazy guy, and that's it. There's no depth to it. It's not funny. It's just this weird, wacky guy. So yeah, I think they're totally failing at really pushing Ambrose as a serious competitor and a serious challenger for the title. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins, just because like Ishmael in the live chat is saying, the authority always wins, and that's the big sticking point. When we started off this conversation, I looked at the card and I liked pretty much every match. I think we looked at this as one of the better pay-per-views that we've gotten from WWE this year. Definitely better than Payback, but this is probably the worst match on the card for me, just because I really have no interest in it. And it's not because of necessarily Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. I think they can put on a good match. It's just that, for me, I look at it as I know that Seth Rollins is going to win. I know that this doesn't mean anything. And yeah, I think this is going to be a poor way to end the show. So just because the authority will get involved in some way, or Reigns will come down and Reigns, I don't know, maybe a big brawl to end the show. I don't know what will happen, but I don't see Seth Rollins losing the title. It's just going to be another shenanigans-filled pay-per-view end.
Yeah, I can definitely see that being the case.
Yeah, par for the course with Rollins and Ambrose.
So, okay, that is Elimination Chamber. Just to retell our picks, we've got Neville going over Bo Dallas, Kevin Owens defeating John Cena, Naomi becoming the new WWE Divas Champion, New Day retaining the tag team titles, Rusev becoming your Intercontinental Champion, and Seth Rollins successfully defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Okay. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we move on?
I really enjoyed being able to catch Owens take on Cena, at least post-match.
As far as this week's Raw?
As far as this week's Raw.
Sure.
And Zack Ryder with the 450 splash.
Yeah.
He missed it. But, man, hey, you've added your moveset, which is phenomenal.
Zack Ryder pulled that out. He also pulled out the Unprettier, which I thought was pretty special. So, yeah.
Or unpretty special.
Well,
he got to use his moves period.
Yeah.
So that's a plus.
Yeah, he hit his finisher. Still lost because that's Cena, and that's WWE really. Like, you always kick out of the finishers now. But yeah, let's quickly talk about Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder on Raw this week. Everyone seems to be pretty much on the same page as far as how well Zack Ryder looked and did this week. So because of that, is this his chance to get back on the main show on a more consistent basis? Are we going to see Zack Ryder on TV more often now? Or do you think this was just because it was the last show at the Nassau Coliseum?
That's exactly it. It's the last show. Don't get me wrong. I'm hoping for more, but I know in my heart of hearts that I'm not going to get more. I don't think they're going to really do much with them, which is a bummer. I hope it's a start of more, but we've seen too many times where it's, we want it and they're like, okay, no, flop. Like his previous run. Wheelchair off the ramp. Really, that was the only thing he became known for. It's such a bummer because if you go back, I said it, and a lot of people gave me crap for it, but the guy's freaking talented. He is championship. He has championship potential, and not just the internet championship.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Joe. I think Zack Ryder does have a future, but he does need that consistent TV time, and that's really something that even when he was U.S. champion, that he really didn't get. He got a match here, he got a match there.
But he also wasn't champion for very long.
No. And it got overshadowed by the whole Kane and John Cena feud. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, gone are the days when Zack Ryder was the future of the WWE. But he absolutely should be getting more consistent TV time right now. His performance last night showed us that. He can still go. He still puts on good matches. And obviously he can innovate on his established moveset. He invented a new finisher, not invented, but innovated a new finisher and stole another. Yeah, he should be getting more spots on TV. I think he could do a better job with this feud with Neville than Bo could, and he doesn't have the history. You could use the angle where Neville's being called a new sensation, and Ryder comes in as the jealous, quote-unquote, mentor type that Bo's trying to be. It's like, yeah, kid, I've been there. I've been the crowd favorite, and they only turn on you, and I'm going to use this excuse to take out my bitter resentment on you, the new guy. I think they missed a lot of opportunities with him, and yeah, I'm hoping for more, but like you guys, I'm kind of expecting that it's just because they were in Long Island. Yeah. Which he made a tweet afterward and said that was his WrestleMania moment, which on the one hand is nice, but on the other hand, it's sad.
No, it's not nice at all.
It's a nice sentiment.
Yeah,
because he got to be there on the night when, like, that's going to be the last Raw ever there.
Yeah.
The building's getting torn down. He was there in his hometown, and he had a good match.
And yeah, it was a great moment. And overall, yeah, you're right. It was a great match. My only issue that I have with it is that, you compare his match against Cena versus Neville or versus Sami Zayn, and he's nowhere near those two guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a shame.
Yeah, that's really the only problem here. So, yeah, I do think he needs more TV time, but, comparatively, where do you put him that doesn't take time away from someone else that can really make an impact and be there for a long time?
I would happily see Ryder on TV in place of Fandango versus Adam Rose fighting over Rosa.
I think Zack Ryder would be better than either of those two guys getting TV time. Easily. Zack Ryder is better than Adam Rose and Fandango.
Yeah. So, speaking of, that match, John Cena has really, and I don't know if you guys agree, but I think what John Cena is doing with the U.S. Championship is by far everything we needed it to be. As far as, finally putting the U.S. Championship as an important title, it's by far the most entertaining part of Raw every single week.
I will agree with that. Totally. That it has been the best part of Raw. Yeah, I don't know there's not much else to say about that other than it's giving guys who are lower on the card actual TV time and the ability to show off their freaking skills.
Do you think?
I agree that it's been great. I think it's starting to wear thin, though. because as you start to run out of those guys, or as those guys have been in and you start rotating through again, you probably still get good matches, but the charm of it wears thin. It's kind of like the hazard of having a TV title. Yeah, when you hear that it's going to be defended every week, it's nice for a while, especially if it hasn't been defended very often prior to that. But then it starts to lose its luster. And especially with a guy like John Cena, who doesn't have that varied moveset to begin with, regardless of whether he keeps implementing new moves, if he doesn't do the new moves well or correctly, and he's shown that he has a real problem with that, then that doesn't really matter. So, well, yeah, I agree it's been good, but I'm hoping that his reign either ends or he adds something else to it.
Okay, so I've got two things. One, and this is coming from the live chat, Beanbags. He said, I missed the first 6 years of Cena, but to me, this is the best Cena ever has looked. Do you guys agree with that? That this Cena is the best Cena that we've seen as far as, you know, overall ability and matches and character and all that stuff?
I don't think this is the best. I think this is one of the most consistent. I think that him giving back a bit to the younger guys, like he is doing this particular edge of the gimmick. I like it, but it's hard for me to say the U.S. title to his first couple reigns with the WWE title. I almost think that was much better.
I would agree with that. I haven't been watching the WWE consistently for the last 6 years, but as far back as I can remember, this is the most entertaining stuff he's done. I've seen bits and pieces from his Dr. Thugonomics days where I think he was a better character, but as far as work rate goes and the matches go, I think this is his best work in a long time.
Yeah, this is. I'm mixed, and I'm with you guys. I mean, as far as like his word life Cena, as Robert is saying in the live chat, like that Cena was the most entertaining as far as a character goes, on the mic goes. I mean, this John Cena, I cannot stand on the mic. I can fast forward through every promo and be fine, be satisfied, you know. But the matches that he's putting on with these guys are fantastic every single week. I think the only bad match that I can remember in the last 6 months with John Cena was probably the Rusev chain match at Payback. Every other match has been fantastic. So yeah, I think this is the best wrestling Cena that we've seen ever, but definitely not the most entertaining, you know, overall. So speaking of Cena though, what about the next step? So, you know, what you're saying as far as Nick goes, what you're saying about, you know, this is starting to get a bit stale because it's John Cena versus a new guy every week, and what happens when that pool dries up. Well, what if John Cena loses the title in the next couple of weeks or next month? Should they and will they continue to do this, to showcase the U.S. Championship every single week like they have with John Cena?
They should continue to showcase the title, but I think you would have to drop the open challenge aspect, because that's very much a face thing to do. And I doubt Sami Zayn or Neville are, well, definitely not Sami Zayn, but I doubt Neville or, say, Ryder would come in, take the belt, and then continue to do that. I imagine it's got to be a heel. I was going to say Rusev, but I don't know who would come in and take the belt from him now, because Owens clearly doesn't have his sights set on it. But since it's almost certainly going to be a heel taking the belt, I don't see them stepping up and doing the same thing Cena does. You want some, come get some. No, they're going to be like Rollins and balk at having to defend their title on a regular basis. So, yeah, the open challenge aspect, you would almost certainly have to drop that after Cena drops it.
I can see it go on for like a couple weeks, and whoever wins, hypothetically, just for sake of argument, for a name to use, Barrett. Barrett wins it, does it for a couple more weeks, but beats guys that Cena's already beaten. Then he can turn around and say, look, I'm already beating all the guys that Cena's already beaten. So we're dropping the open challenge. You know, I'm the king, fuck you.
That would actually be an interesting scenario if Barrett continued the open challenge, but made it sort of like a kingly thing. And then he combined that with like Jarrett's call out when he was doing the MMA shtick in TNA, like pretending that he's calling out these badasses, but then he totally rigs it against them. I'd actually love to see Barrett do that.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so let's skip some of the other WWE stuff. We kind of went long on that. So NXT Takeover Unstoppable happened over the last week, and we previewed it last episode. Here is the results. Finn Balor defeated Tyler Breeze to become your NXT number one contender for the NXT Championship. Bayley and Charlotte defeated Emma and Dana Brooke. Baron Corbin defeated Rhino. Blake and Murphy are still your NXT Tag Team Champions, thanks to Alexa Bliss. Sasha Banks is still your NXT Women's Champion, and Kevin Owens is still your NXT Champion. Overall, what'd you guys think? Was there any surprises on this show to you?
Alexa Bliss, clearly. I'm still heartbroken over someone that adorable being that viciously treacherous. I never would have seen that coming in a million years.
And just to be clear, I did make a mistake in my predictions, thinking Dana Brooke was Alexa Bliss.
Right?
Really?
So then I'm talking about, like, if you go back, we were talking about, I'm like, oh, the sex appeal, blah, blah, blah. That was all Alexa Bliss. I had nothing to do with Dana Brooke.
But Dana Brooke has been, like, kind of touchy-feely with herself.
Yeah.
Right, but how many dudes aren't? I'm kidding, Dana. But no, I was thinking Alexa Bliss. Like,
that makes sense now.
It makes a lot more sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, Emma and Alexa Bliss. Yeah, I was like, Emma and Dana Brooke. Hell yeah. No. Alexa Bliss, phenomenal heel here, helping Blake and Murphy win. I loved it. My match of the night has to be Banks and Lynch.
Second.
Oh my God, Lynch shows why she needs to be there. That I was just so in awe of everything she did in that match. I really could have seen the title changing hands. Just so freaking good. I mean, if this is where they're starting with this, I can't wait to see where they go. I expect a cage match or some other gimmick match for this feud to end, because Lynch Banks was phenomenal.
Yeah, best match of the night for me as well. Just looking at the reactions they got from both wrestlers, retired and current wrestlers, and just the fans. We were all into that match. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter that they were women wrestlers. That match itself was one of the best wrestling matches that we've seen on TV this year.
Yeah, one spot in particular where Sasha was working over Becky's arm, and then Becky deadlifts Sasha and brings her up, does that back suplex, which I've seen some people say it was a modified Frankensteiner. I'm not really sure. I thought it was a back suplex. But that was a 100% pure power move. That was freaking monstrous.
Yeah. What about the new look for
Becky?
Becky, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm digging
it.
I love the steampunk.
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty cool too.
I just enjoyed the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sold at first, to be honest. I don't know why. I just wasn't sold at first, but it's really grown on me now.
It was kind of different. You know, it's weird, like, how her character keeps evolving. Like, first it was, like, the straight-up Irish caricature from, like, the 1900s. And then you've got this punk rocker, and then now the steampunk. So I'm wondering, like, what's next? Like, what's the next evolutional step for her?
What I'm wondering is if this will cause some sort of alignment with the Vaudevillains.
Ooh.
And I figured to jump to the main roster to hook up with Sheamus.
Yeah. There was a tease of that before. Like, they started talking to each other over Twitter. Yeah. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, that would be really cool. All right, so yeah, I mean, overall, I thought this event was very good, but nowhere near where last Takeover was. Like, there was some great moments. Definitely Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch, I thought was great. Balor versus Tyler Breeze, I thought was very good as well. Even Bayley and Charlotte versus Emma and Dana Brooke, I thought that was a good match too. But, you know, Baron Corbin versus Rhino, that really didn't do anything for me. The tag team match, while it did have like that nice surprise twist that you weren't necessarily expecting, you know, I'm still like really disappointed that once again Enzo and Cass have been screwed out of the title in one way or another.
They're like the Bailey of the tag team division.
Yeah. But Owens versus Sami Zayn, I don't think was as good as their last match.
No, their last match.
Well, it ended the same way.
Yeah, but this is purely about Zayn getting the upper hand, but just Owens destroying him. Jumping back though to Corbin Rhino, I was in the process of doing some work in the baby's room, so this match starts and I'm like, oh god. So I leave the room. I come back like 5 minutes later. Is this match still going on? And Rhino hadn't come to the ring yet. And I'm like, oh my god. I leave for like 5 more minutes. I come back. My wife looks at me and goes, they still haven't started. I'm like, son of a bitch. Why are these guys getting this much TV time when other matches could definitely benefit from it? Balor Breeze could have went a little longer. That would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah, I imagine that's why they probably didn't factor in Tommy's absence properly. I'm betting that opening match was supposed to go longer. But for me personally, I think this is the best takeover in a while. I can't call it the best because I would have to go back and review some of the early ones first. But I thought this was the best takeover they've done in a while, especially with the big reveal they had at the end with Joe.
Okay, so let's talk about this because I don't know if I agree with how overly positive everyone seemed to be about Samoa Joe's entrance into NXT. So let's start with you, Nick. You like the entrance with Samoa Joe?
Yeah, I've seen people saying that they were calling it. Our own hooligan missing in action, Lou, came at me with that a little bit after my reaction, and I wasn't expecting it. I don't know if I got misled thinking that the new theme music was oohas, because they literally said ooh-ha in that opening bit.
Yeah.
And then
they
Joe
couldn't
walks
just
out.
have the Usos come out and do the thing.
I don't know. I'm not really sold on Joe's new music, but with Joe walking out and Owens looking like he'd seen a ghost, I thought that was great. I've seen people talking about how it would have been better had something physically actually gone down between them.
No way.
Yeah, I'm with you, Joe. I think that would have been wasteful. Just Joe entering and climbing in the ring, getting face to face with Owens, and then getting in his face again after Owens steps back. I thought that was powerful enough for a debut. If you're not going to have an actual fight with Owens versus Joe afterward, then I think you need to wait for them to actually get their hands on each other for another time.
Yeah, Samoa Joe's. I think Samoa Joe's entrance was fantastic. I'm very excited for it. Joe's obviously making a statement, but we have yet to see more. We're going to have to wait to see more, and the way they did it was perfect in my opinion. The fact that they didn't actually have an altercation is great because that's something we're going to want to wait for, and they could wait a whole month before they actually make contact. It kind of reminds me of Sabu Rob Van Dam, how Sabu kept running. No, Sabu and Taz. I'm sorry. God, what the hell is wrong with me? And then they finally got the altercation. I'm waiting for, they're going to draw this out, and I'm going to be okay with it because Owens has Balor to contend with for now. And until then, he's also got Cena.
Yeah, and you never know when Zayn's going to come back. He's got a lot of balls in the air right now.
Yeah, and that's the one nice thing about how this all played out is that Kevin Owens has so many different directions, and each direction is awesome. Even William Regal.
Yeah, that was a nice little touch. I wasn't expecting Regal to get physically involved, and the way he did was pretty great.
Yeah. So I won't disagree with you guys completely. I think I was okay with how Samoa Joe was brought in. I definitely wouldn't have liked it better if there was a physical altercation. I don't know if I agree with him moving up to the main top story so quickly. Like, Kevin Owens made sense because of the history and the story that they could tell between Zayn and Owens, but because Joe's spent so long in TNA, like, to me, I feel like he needs like a real story to build up that character and who he is for the NXT roster. You know, he isn't like an indie darling. He's a TNA guy, and for some reason that changes it for me. Like, I feel like he needs a story to build from, not this. I think this is too much too quickly.
I think he's different. I mean, obviously he's different because he's going to be working NXT shows at the same time he's doing indie stuff. But, like, for one thing, they didn't change his name. Immediately after he appeared, they put Samoa Joe T-shirts on WWE Shop,
and they sold out. Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with it. Like, I know people know who Samoa Joe is. Obviously, he had the big history in ROH as well, and a lot of people have known about him. A lot of people have talked about him. CM Punk was a big Samoa Joe supporter. Austin has been a big Samoa Joe supporter. So I don't know.
He's had that national exposure, something that Steen and Generico and those other guys didn't have before they hit NXT.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, people that watch indie stuff, people that watch ROH, Japan, they knew, but the average wrestling fan didn't, whereas it's a lot more likely that the average wrestling fan will know who Samoa Joe is, even just hearing his name, because TNA is a national production.
I don't know. But I will say what really hurt it the most for me was the fact that I couldn't watch it Wednesday. I had to wait until the next day. And by that point, it was impossible for me to avoid spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
I think the first notification on my phone was a spoiler for it. I forget if it was like...
Well, just to clarify here, Nick and I did not spoil it.
Yeah, you were good.
We enjoyed the show.
Yeah, you guys were good.
Yeah.
You guys are always good. No, it was something else. It was either like a Facebook message that got sent to me, like not like a group message, but an actual Facebook message that got sent to me, I think. I forget who did it, but yeah, I got spoiled, and that sucked. That robbed it from me, so.
Yeah, that was the closest where I actually came to spoiling something. I saw that tweet. I said, okay, I'm not going to name winners and losers, but Joe comes out, and my jaw was damn near hitting the floor. I was so excited for that moment. And just to see everything else exploding on social media around that moment was just awesome.
Okay. All right, well, let's go ahead and close up the free portion of tonight's show. We're going to hook up on the other side in our little squared circle of trust. So all of the Patreon members who have subscribed at $5 or more, you guys are going to get the uncut version of tonight's conversation. We've got some TNA stuff to talk about, Lucha Underground stuff to talk about. There's a new wrestling company that is going to be on TV soon that we're going to talk about real quick, and also some other WWE topics. So stay tuned for that. But right now, let's go into win fail.
Women wrestlers aren't getting paid? Why do you do a job?
Here's your win.
You do any job,
and fail
is to fucking get paid!
Of the week. Joe, what was your win of the week?
My win of the week was Zack Ryder on Raw working a full match. This wasn't a job out. He got to showcase everything. I do like the fact that he seems to team up with a lot of celebrities. It's just a bummer that I read that his Tough Enough entry was denied.
Yeah.
Okay, that was kayfabe news, but still. No, Zack Ryder on Raw was great to see. Props to you, dude, because great to see you back on TV.
Nick, your win of the week?
My win of the week is actually from a production angle, and that's the sort of main event style entrances that Balor and Breeze got. Like Breeze with the fashion show deal with those other those women. I know most of them are in the NXT program. One on the other hand, Sarah Stock, also known as Sarita. I thought it was interesting that she was there. And then Balor coming out with the wings and the spikes on the back and revealing the Eyelet Balor on his back. That was a pretty awesome moment. And side note, I kind of like that they're adopting, maybe stealing is too strong a word, although that's kind of going on there.
Yeah.
That the main event entrances that Becky and Sasha got. It's a nice touch, and yeah, TNA did it first, so
Yeah, so let's
it
just
needs to be mentioned.
Let's just clarify. Yeah, the TNA they started doing this a few months back, where their top title match or their top match of the show would get like that dramatic music and the people walking through the backstage before they went to the ring. So Angle versus Lashley got it quite a few times. So yeah, but we saw that with Becky versus Sasha. I thought it was fitting. I thought it was very cool.
Yeah.
So. Were you surprised, just real quick, were you surprised that they got it and not Owens versus Zayn?
A little bit. Yeah. I mean, looking back in hindsight now, it makes sense because Owens versus Zayn wasn't really a match, I guess. Just the way it ended. It wasn't like a big fight kind of thing. So, yeah, looking back in retrospect, it does make sense.
All right, wins. We got NJPW's Best of the Super Juniors 22. I have heard a lot of good things about that. Sasha versus Becky definitely is getting a lot of wins of the week in the live chat. Samoa Joe's debut in NXT as well. Yeah, for me, I'm going to have to echo a lot of what everyone else is saying, and that is Becky versus Sasha Banks. I think that match, again, was one of the best matches that we've seen all year. So if you haven't seen it yet, if you don't have the network, get it. It's still free right now, I think. But yeah, get it when you can, and definitely watch that match. It was fantastic. Fails. What was your fail, Joe?
My fail of the week is Corbin Rhino. Went on way too long for a match that wasn't needed. Nobody wanted to see it. Not to my knowledge, anyway.
No.
Nope.
I mean, they wanted to see it, but that can't really count that one, can you?
Corbin's going to bore you.
And he did.
Nick, your fail?
My fail goes to Alex Shelley and his frail constitution because he hurt himself, as he does with every one of the Best of the Super Juniors he's in.
Yeah.
Chipped his heel, suffered ligament damage. Seriously, that's more disappointing than a failure, but yeah.
Okay, my fail is going to go to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship title race. I think it's really boring right now just because there isn't that big face that's going up against Rollins. They really haven't built anyone up well at all. I mean, you could look at Ambrose, but Ambrose he's not that guy you can really get behind just because of how they built him. Roman Reigns, for whatever reason, is out of that title picture now. And, yeah, I miss Brock Lesnar. I want Brock Lesnar back.
You want Lesnar back or do you want Heyman back?
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, it's super sad because Ambrose should be that big face that you can get behind. But, yeah, like you said, the build for him is just what little there's been has been disappointing, and mostly it's non-existent.
Some fails from the live chat. We've got an echo of the Alex Scheller injury, lack of tag teams in TNA and NXT, as well as the X Division Championship not being important. Fails to the random celebrity meets diva segments that we always get on Raw. And, yeah. And beanbags being too drunk on Sunday and missing the Lucha Libre World Cup.
Damn it, beanbags! You gotta pace yourself.
Yeah, I've also heard good things about that show too. So, yeah, if you can get a copy of it, the Lucha Libre World Cup, I hear it was really awesome. So,
as dumb as the teams were.
Yeah, no, sure, the teams are weird, but it's okay.
I've also got to dispute the X Division importance deal because we're getting a gauntlet match this Friday.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that a little bit on the uncut version of the show. So stay tuned for that. If you are not a Patreon subscriber yet, definitely get on that bandwagon. Patreon.com/fanstalk. Final thoughts before we switch over.
Final thought: if you thought we were just going to gloss over the fact that I won picks again, you're crazy.
Forgot. How'd that happen?
If you thought we were going to gloss over the fact that I came in last again, damn it, I was really hoping.
Me. That's fine. That's fine.
Damn straight, Nick. We are going to bury you every fucking chance we get. Right?
Yeah, you know, the one thing is I forgot once again to look to see like what the totals are for this year. So I need to do that. Maybe you guys can do that. Tally up those totals. Joe, final thought?
I'm glad things are going well with wrestling. Everybody gets a moment where they're like, wrestling still, and I kind of had one of those moments, but I'm excited for it again, and I want to thank NXT a lot for that. While I haven't been able to catch Lucha Underground, Fans Talk Lucha is one of the best shows. It's one of the shows I enjoy every week, and I'm not saying that because it's on our list of podcasts, but it truly, I enjoy it because there's an excitement there. There's just a pure joy, and it really comes through.
Yeah, those emotions are sincere, and overall, I wish I felt the way I feel watching Lucha Underground when I watched WWE, when I watched TNA, when I watched anything else on TV. So, yeah. Thank you. All right. Well, that's the show. Everyone who is listening and a Patreon subscriber, we're going to see you on the other side. We've got a few other topics we're going to talk about tonight. But the rest of you, thank you so much for being here. Let's continue the conversation on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or wherever you are. Leave a rating and review if you can, especially on iTunes. The more reviews we get, the higher we appear in the search results, and that's always fun. Definitely spread the word. For Joe, Nick, everyone in the live chat, thank you so much, and we'll see you next Tuesday. And we're back. Welcome, everyone, to the other side. We are here in the Squared Circle of Trust. Quite a few more topics to talk about. We got some stuff from WWE. Obviously, a lot of news coming out of TNA that I want to get your guys' opinion on. But then we also have Lucha Underground news, Paragon Pro Wrestling news. A lot of wrestling news out there right now. So let's start with we'll start off with news that there's going to be a new wrestling TV show coming out. It's by the guys behind Paragon Pro Wrestling. It's a new wrestling company. They are taping shows out in Las Vegas right now, I think. And so far on the roster, they've got Joey Ryan, they've got Jesse Sorensen, WWE veteran Gangrel. That guy is back on TV. And yeah, it's a new, like they basically just signed a TV deal with Pop TV, which is the former TV Guide. So if you have used to have the TV Guide channel, so like for us, like Time Warner and Cox Cable and Comcast, those kind of stations that had the TV Guide have this Pop TV, which is in like 60% of homes or whatnot. But yeah, this is going to be a weekly show starting, I think, middle of June. So yeah, Joe, I mean, you talk about all the cool wrestling that's coming out. Last week we talked about GFW going to start doing weekly shows soon. I think that's what I don't know when that starts. Maybe end of June, early July, or something like that. I'm not sure.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. So at least they're doing tapings for it. But anyway, so Paragon Pro Wrestling, that's something else that is cool. That's coming out. So I don't know. I just kind of wanted to mention it. There's nothing really to talk about, but I think it's cool that there's another group coming out. Beanbags in the live chat also threw out the fact that AAA puts a lot of their programming on their YouTube channel as well as their website, and it's all free. So if you're a fan of Lucha Underground and you want to see what else these guys do, pretty much the entire roster is over in AAA. I think they have something absurd like 93 wrestlers or something like that. So like trios championships, all that sort of cool stuff. So yeah, definitely so much wrestling that's coming out right now.
Yeah, I know next to nothing about Paragon Pro Wrestling. All I know is that Joey Ryan absolutely deserves to be on TV, and I hope he's bringing Candice LeRae with him so we can have the world's cutest tag team in one spot.
Yeah, I mean, I just caught the headline this morning. It was in my Feedly. I think it was maybe I don't know. It was on one of those websites. But yeah, I don't know. It should be pretty cool, though. I mean, just the fact that they're on a network that is in 60% of homes, that's huge. That's a big deal, especially for another weekly show.